Hello, everyone. How are we all doing tonight? There we go. A little bit louder. So, originally, I was going to do a strip routine. It's called the Gettysburg Undress. I'm gonna have to charge a lot more for tickets, okay? So, instead of emancipating this booty, alright, I'll be doing a bit of stand-up comedy. With a bit of a twist. I'm just kidding. So all of you know, my name's Andrew Fortier, aka Mr. History. And as you can probably tell, I love history. And I also love the United States. Almost as much as I love the cream inside Oreos. History, United States, Oreos, and then double stuffed Oreos. So, the reasons I love the United States so much is because she's full of amazing stories, if you look for them. She's the only place where you can go from being homeless to being a millionaire on Wall Street, or vice versa. And most importantly, she's over 18 years old. Back to history though. It doesn't really make sense to me why history gets such a bad reputation. I mean, the beliefs that history's boring and that learning about old stuff isn't fun. Well, I mean, just because something's old doesn't mean it's not cool. Some examples are the Beatles, dinosaurs, GameCube, and a little old lady called Betty White. We live in a society where we don't look at the past enough. Instead of embracing the fabrics of our nation, we argue over the color fabric of a dress. And it's really cool, by the way. Back to history again. What really cracks me up is the History Channel, because I used to love watching the History Channel. But that's when they used to have shows that were actually about history. Alright? I flip on the History Channel now, and there's one of two shows on. Alright? There's either Pawn Stars or Swamp People. Now, the thing about Pawn Stars is, it's really not believable at all. Because I've seen about 50 episodes of that show, and I have not seen one stripper walk into the store. And it's set in Las Vegas, so... if you're noticing a stripper theme in my act tonight, you've got to pay for college somehow, so... Don't even get me started on Swamp People, okay? I think Shrek lived a cleaner life in his swamp than these people. And also, Fiona wasn't Shrek's cousin, so that's it. All the people do on the show, okay, all they do is they go around in a little boat and they look for alligators so they can ignore all common sense and start wrestling it. I'd imagine it's like trying to debate Hillary Clinton. Alright, but I will tell the truth. The one cool thing about Hillary is that she has complete power over Bill. Okay? I mean, there must never be a conversation that doesn't go her way. Alright, so if you're Hillary and you want Chinese food dinner, like, you want some noodles, some lo mein, you're Bill and you want pizza, if you're Hillary, boom! Just hit with the Monica Lewinsky. Another thing about history is that it has the potential to destroy lives, especially criminal history if you're trying to find a job, or the type of history that you delete from your laptop. History, another thing it does is provides perspective. So this week, a lot of people came up to me and they asked, Are you nervous to perform alone on stage in front of all these people? And don't you have stage fright? Well, if there's anything I've learned from history class, it's that stage fright is not a real thing. Alright? Because what happened to Abe Lincoln, I'd be a lot more scared to be in the audience. One of the biggest perks of knowing your history inside and out is history pickup lines. Alright? Just picture this in your head. You're at a museum. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot the woman of your dreams. Alright? She's checking out Ben Franklin's bifocals. She should be checking you out. Okay, so you walk up to her and all of a sudden your mind starts racing. You spot a history textbook in her bag. Just as you're about to vomit all over her. You realize that you can impress her with some killer history pickup lines that you learned from me. So I'd like to share this with you. On a scale from 1 to America, how free are you tonight? If I was a Berlin Wall, I'd be falling for you. Did you work on the Transcontinental Railroad? You got a nice caboose. Are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment? Because I'd like to search and seize you with probable cause. Do I know what's unconstitutional? That we're still wearing all our articles of clothing. If you were British and I was a colonist, we could do some intolerable acts. And this last one, which has never failed, ever. Call me Paul Revere, because I can take you for a midnight ride. Well, speaking of having a way with words, how many of you are familiar with former President George W. Bush? Big fan. Well, what if I told you he was here tonight, backstage?
No. Come on.
Yeah. Let me go get it. I want to thank you for having me. People call me Curious George. Thank you, young lady. I think I'm going to have to say goodbye to Laura. The reason people call me Curious George is I like to think about things, deep things. Like how Texas is taxes, with all the letters all switched around. I spent the second term thinking about that. So, down in Texas, we like to have our rodeos on Friday night. We don't have no Mr. Allentowns. So, it's a good thing I have a sort of plan, a planification, if I may, in place for when this happens. You see, there aren't many sheep down in Texas where I live, so I like to count the people jumping the border to fall asleep. I'm often asked, what are the chances that you have a father and a son who become president? Well, I like to say, the tree doesn't fall far from the apple. My dad served one term, I served 2 terms, so So together that's that's 3 terms. So, thing about me and Pops, we don't like taxes. We also don't like Sarah Palin, but tell her that. And the thing about taxes is you're working hard to put food on your family. I mean, your family on the table. So, the last thing you need are the taxification of your money. Who I especially care about are senior citizens. Did you know that out of every age group in the United States, senior citizens have the highest death rate? This year, a senior citizen will die. Sickens me, people. Seniors, they support our industries. Rocking chairs, puzzles, Wheel of Fortune, and mushy foods that you gotta eat with your gums if you don't have to. In conclusion, there's an old saying I'd like to share with you all, and it's in Tennessee. I mean Texas. They're right next to each other, so it says, "Former once, shame on." Shame on. No. Let me look it up. Alright, this doesn't have Wi-Fi. Alright, thank you everyone. It's been a wonderful audience, and have an awesome night.